The following content in this video may be disturbing for some viewers. If you are sensitive to any topics involving death, murder, abuse, suicide, etc., proceed with caution or stop watching this video at this point. Hello and welcome to the first video I've ever posted on 2023. If you're wondering why this took so damn long for me to upload, it's because I focused a lot more on composing music, and because I had second thoughts. Unfortunately, there won't be any serious edits in this entire video, so all you'll see is a background and some text. So, let's not waste any time, because I'm now going to tell you all you need to know about my fictional universe.
Hope you like it.
What is the Lost Dimension? I'll give you a pretty simple explanation for that. To describe it in one sentence, the Lost Dimension is a parallel world that people can go to after they have died on Earth. The dimension is well known for its history, culture, magic, and the inhabitants that live there. I'll get to that later. It is split into two different areas. The main dimension, which is an entire planet akin of that to Earth, but it's much larger in size. And let's not forget about the hundreds of subdimensions, which can only be accessed by having certain requirements met, or simply by finding them in the subdimension hub. Basically, anything you see in fantasy and science fiction exists here. From the supernatural forces, properties, and items, to creatures that originate in the folklore and imagination created by humans. Now, how does one get there? You know the Lost Dimension is a fictional universe, yet you're so enticed. Not to fear, I'll tell you. As said before, you gotta die first, silly! Your chances of getting there by dying from natural causes or old age, however, are very low. The creators of the Lost Dimension actually have a specific system they use to determine who gets to go there and who doesn't. Most of the time, they choose people based on their life experiences, what they did in their past life, and, most importantly, how they died. Some of these requirements will sound pretty dark and morbid, because for some reason the creators have an obsession with people who have done bad things and the victims of the people who have done bad things. So, to avoid getting my rear kicked by you-know-who, I'm only gonna list some of the requirements. Being charged for at least 3 counts of murder, have the tendency to hurt others without causing any fatal injuries, experience any harsh bullying or harassment between pre-adolescence and young adulthood, witness the brutal deaths of someone regardless if they're a stranger or someone you personally know, have thanatophobia or necrophobia, have a belief in the existence of an afterlife, be a member of a group with religious beliefs and practices that seem immoral or sinful to normal society, save at least one person from their abuser or murderer, have the belief that magic exists. Now, let's get to the death requirements. And trust me, it only goes downhill from here. Getting murdered by someone. Being the victim of a brutal accident. Getting executed as capital punishment. Getting sacrificed by one or more people for religious reasons. Getting brutally killed by a wild animal, preferably a medium to large-sized mammal. Succumbing to blood loss or internal bleeding. If you meet at least one pre-mortem requirement and one of the 7 death requirements, you'll have a much greater chance of going to the Lost Dimension. You'll resurrect in a random place in the world within hours, days, weeks, hell, even months or years after your cruel demise. Everything I told you was the correct way to get to the Lost Dimension. The wrong method is to abruptly end up there while you're still alive, which can happen. So, what I said in the beginning was a lie. Who created the Lost Dimension? My explanation is kind of complex, so to save some time, I'll give you a brief explanation. The 2 types of creators in the Lost Dimension are the demons and the overseers, known to make it the way it is today. While a lot of people in the dimension, particularly mortals, believe the overseers are the true creators, considering they're the highest and did the most work, the demons are actually responsible for creating it to begin with. This story takes place somewhere in Europe in the beginning of the 15th century. 3 leaders, their parents, and over 600 cult members worked together to create the Lost Dimension, which they called before a substitute for hell. With magic and a ton of human sacrifices, the Lost Dimension was successfully created in 1400. Everyone who participated in the creation killed themselves, sending them to their new dimension as demons. Moorlandian demons were created to rule the planet, and eventually they brought deceased humans into it in 1512. That's all you need to know about the history of the Lost Dimension for now. In later videos, you'll learn more about its history as we continue through this series. Finally, what is life like in the dimension? Well, to start off, most of the environment in the Lost Dimension is no different to that of Earth. In fact, it is actually a copy of Earth, with a few anomalous and magical touches to it. The dimension has its own civilizations, regions, states, cities, towns, villages, and much more. If you get into the dimension the correct way, you'll find that you're immortal and no longer age. You'll also have the same appearance you had prior to death, as well as any memories or skills you had in your past life. You'll live a pretty nice life here when you get used to the new environment. Come here the wrong way and you won't be immortal, continue to age, and are also susceptible to every single danger this dimension has to offer. This is where we get to travelers, and I'll talk more about that particular group in the next video of this series. Congratulations, you have reached the end of this video. If you want to know anything beyond the information I've given you in this video, then make sure to comment your questions down below. I'll be happy to answer them if that's possible. This also goes for any theories. If you have any theories at the top of your head right now, you can also comment those down. Well, I'll take my leave from here. Hope you have a nice rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. See you next time.